Hello YouTube, this is Corey Machiavelli here again. Today with the topic of how the gendering of language in Germany creates the feminization of society and the suppression of males in society. Now, let me explain. So, a few years ago, maybe a couple of years ago more, Germany has come up with the stupid idea of regulating their government papers, all of their political papers, in a way that all genders get included. The way Germany does this is by putting a star or a slash symbol into their papers, into their letters, and so on, when speaking to people or speaking about people. So, let me give you an easy example of a word I spent a couple of minutes thinking about, a good word that is easily translatable into German, and that word is the word politician. So if we want to say the word politician in German, if we are talking about a male politician, we say Politiker. If we are talking about a female politician, we say Politikerin, with the IN at the end as a suffix, indicating that it is a female politician we are talking about. Now, let's go with the plural forms of the verb, of the noun. Many politicians, the multiple of a politician. So politicians, male politicians, is called politiker, with the er suffix at the end. And a lot of female politicians, so the multiple of female politicians is called politikerinnen, with the er at the end and the in, wait, well, alright. Take the word politikerin and use nen as a suffix. So you have the multiple, many female politicians, politikerinnen. So, to get to the point, what Germany has done is they developed a kind of linguistic system, a kind of speaking system, a kind of writing system where the way you write about certain groups of people, let's say you write about politicians and you write about a number of politicians of which the gender is unknown, or it could be mixed genders, etc. You write Politiker, a star symbol, and innen. So INNEN at the end. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, what the fuck is that? And how do you pronounce this? Like, Politiker star innen, or what is the point of this? So, the point of this, after talking to people in that political region, in the Green Party region, in the Social Democratic Party region, the point of this whole thing is that the star symbol is used to include people from all kinds of genders apart from the male and female range. So we have transsexuals there, genderqueer people there, women with 3 tits there, and so on. So the way, however, this is pronounced is by simply saying politikerinnen. So you take the plural form of the female version of the noun and you say it like that. And I'm personally very convinced that language develops the way we act. A very famous quote of the author, who was it? Let me check. André Kostolany, who was a investment better, so to say. So he was betting on investments. He was speculator. He was an investment speculator, right? He was a pretty rich one, pretty successful one, and quite a famous one. And he wrote a book about the art of thinking about money, which is describing his. It is kind of like his biography of how he started speculating about money and speculating about economics in general, and what are the pitfalls of people who speculate there. Now, I don't want to get into the economics part of it. That's not the important part right now. The important part is one thing he said is that he's also pretty convinced that the way we think about money is reflected by the language we speak. So, for example, in German, you say Geld verdienen, which literally translates to deserve money in English. And it kind of gets like, it kind of makes sense from a sociological perspective, right? From a cultural perspective, because as Germans, as someone who grew up in Germany most of his life, the the traditional way Germans think and act is they value hard work a lot. So they want to be punctual, they want to be on time, and they want to be disciplined and reliable when it comes to work. So that means they deserve money. The British, however, they say earn money, which I don't know. I've never lived in Britain. Maybe some British guy will could explain what this means like culturally. The Americans say make money, which is kind of fitting to the fact if we take into account how much money the Federal Reserve has printed over the last couple of years. In Hungary, we say pénzkeresni, which literally translates to searching money or looking for money, which is also kind of, it makes sense, right? Hungarians are traditionally quite poor and they would like any way to get to some money, so they look for opportunities to get money. Anyways, if we take this concept of this theoretical concept, which has not been proven yet, but it kind of makes sense, so it's not like too far-fetched, right? If we take this and apply this to the German way of thinking about genders, the modern German way of thinking about genders, if we speak about people by only using the feminized version of that, even though it's written differently, if we only speak to the feminized plural version of a noun, this creates a society where males are essentially excluded. So it doesn't matter if you're, I don't know, 99 males and one woman in a group of people, you will still get spoken to as if you were a full group of females. And the French, however, they did it differently, right? I learned French in school, and they have two different words for the word they. They have the word il and elle. Il is the same word as the word he, but with an s at the end. And it gets used when there is a group of people and there is at least one man there. And the word elle, which is basically the word she, but with an s at the end, to indicate its plural, is basically talking about a group of people but only consisting of females. So that's the only case when elle is used. So that being said, why is that? So why did the French develop the system? Like, back in sports class, when I was in sports class in school, we always had this one kid that was picked on because he looked like a girl, and it was pretty embarrassing for everyone. Like, everyone found it embarrassing for him. They made fun of him for that, but he was embarrassed about it as well because even the sports teacher thought he was like a girl and put him into the girls' club. So it is quite embarrassing for us to be, for us men naturally, to be considered as females. Now, for females, however, for women, however, I don't know if it's that embarrassing for them to be considered as males. I can't look into their head. I have never asked them a question. It's a good question that I will ask in the future sometime. However, it is quite. It makes sense regarding this why the French developed this way of speaking. And we had it in Germany as well. If we talked about multiple politicians back before this whole genderization of language appeared, we just said the male plural of the verb. Simply because it's easier, and also it's easier to say actors than actors and actresses, for example. Now in English they also do this sometimes too, right? You don't want to always want to say two verbs, two variants of the same noun to describe a group of people. It's just simply too tedious. We like to shorten things up. And if we take this as a norm, that we use a star to formally include every kind of gender, but at the end of the day we only feminize gender, so we only feminize society, what will the future for us bring? What will the future for the Germans bring? How will this develop for the society? I mean, it's pretty evident if you see people about in the left range, in the liberal range of people, of politicians and students, that they get feminized even more and more. And this is probably one of the reasons, because this is something that works in your deep subconscious mind. You basically get programmed to act or identify a certain way just by the way you speak. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Thank you for watching.